What is going on, Rough family? Welcome back to the channel. So happy to have you here. For those of you who don't know who I am your boy Roy. I'm the CEO here at Rough Fitness, and it is our mission to give you the tools, the knowledge, the education to help you build your happiest, healthiest life. And I am so excited about today's talk. Now, I'm excited about every talk that we do, but today in particular, because we get to answer the question, does tracking calories actually work for weight loss? And if it does, if we conclude that it does actually work and it does help, is it the right approach for reaching your goals and long-term success? And we're going to talk about all of that today. But I think that this is so important because we've all come across calories before. We've all heard of it. Calories in versus calories out. We've heard just move more and eat less. And I'm going to be the first one to say this, like, let's just square this and get this off the table right here, right now. If it was as easy as moving more and eating less, we'd all be in shape. You wouldn't be watching this video right now. You'd already lost the weight. You guys, there's so much more to it, and we're going to talk about that today. And also, there's a whole other side to this. Like, there's the mental and emotional side as well. Like, you got a lot of things going on in your life, and we got to break all of that down. So let's dive in. So to really get into this, if we're going to talk about calories in, calories out, and does tracking your calories even work for trying to lose weight, we first have to understand what even is a calorie? Like, what the heck is a calorie? And so, simply put, a calorie is a unit of measurement for your body's energy system. So basically what happens is we get calories in, and your body literally burns those calories to create energy so we can live our life and do activities and so on and so forth. So with that being said, I kind of want to break all of this down into two categories: the calories in versus the calories out. And we're going to talk about the calories out first. So I'll give you this little drawing. We'll say that this is you. We'll make you happy. And we will say that these are all the calories you burn in a day. And I break those calories into three distinct categories. The first one is our BMR. This is our basal metabolic rate. These are all the calories we burn simply just being alive. These are the calories we have to burn to survive. So, and the example is, if you were to just lay in bed and do absolutely nothing all day, the only thing you're allowed to do is sleep or just lay there and be alive. That's it. You are still burning calories even though you're not doing anything. This is your BMR, your heart beating, your lungs breathing, your brain thinking. Like, you still need to burn calories just to stay alive. And the reason why this is important is because your BMR is actually the majority of calories you burn in a day. I did a quick Google search and I found the average BMR, the average calories a person burns in America just being alive. And for women, that number is 1,400 calories. And for men, it's a range of 1,600 to 1,800 calories a day. And when I say that, like, I really want that to sink in, because some of you guys, your jaws hit the floor when I said that, because it seems like a lot. Again, we're not talking about any extra activity. We're talking about the bare minimum, laying in bed, doing nothing just to survive. 1,400 calories for average for women, 1,600 to 1,800 for men. Like, that's a lot of calories. Okay, so that's going to be the first category, and that's the majority of calories we burn in the day. The second category is what I define as your activity. And this is literally anything you do more than nothing. You get out of bed, you go make breakfast, you take a shower, you brush your teeth, you go outside, you take the dogs for a walk, you drive to work. Like, literally me making this video, I'm burning extra calories. And this is just your general activity throughout the day, just doing things, right? And so your body is spending calories to get to do all of these things. And this is going to be the second biggest portion of the calories we burn in a day. And so that leaves us with the third and final category. And I define this as training and intentional exercise or working out. And the reason why this is important is because it's different than just general activity. This is you marking off time to do some form of exercise for the health benefits. Like you are trying to look better, you're trying to feel better, you're trying to burn fat, you're trying to build muscle, you're trying to get faster, you're trying to get stronger. Like there's a reason why you're doing this and there's some kind of benefit to this. So the example would be like if you were just going out for a leisurely bike ride because you just felt like doing that, I'd consider that activity. You're mowing the grass, activity. You're going to a boot camp, you're lifting some weights, you're going for a run, for exercise. Like those things are your workout and your exercise. And the reason why that is important, I make it its own category, is because it's actually the smallest piece of calories you burn in a day. And that 30 minutes, that hour workout, even if you're going for an hour and a half, 2 hours, like it's so small and minute in comparison to your BMR and your general activity, right? And the reason why I try to emphasize this so much is because I feel like most of us have that backwards. I know you guys have your Apple Watches and your Fitbits and you're going to your boot camp and you're like, look at all these calories, I'm burning so many calories. But first and foremost, those Apple Watches and Fitbits, like those calorie trackers really aren't that accurate. You can't trust it to know that that's exactly how many calories you're burning. But also, in retrospect, those calories you're burning, again, are so small. You might burn 200, 300, maybe even 500 calories in a workout, which seems like a lot. But again, the average BMR for a woman is 1,400. Just being alive, you're burning almost triple that just throughout the day. And I think that's really important to note as we go through today's talk, right? The BMR, the activity, and the workout's just such a small little piece. So that's going to be our calories out, how we spend our energy. So the next question is the calories in? How do we get the calories? How do we get the energy? And it's pretty straightforward. We get this from the food we eat and the drinks we drink if there's caloric value there, right? And so this is important because different foods have different values. Plain and simple, this is how we get our calories in. We eat food, we get calories in, and then we choose how we want to spend that energy. Now, this is where it gets fun, all right? So as we're eating food, it's important to note that your body's built to survive. It has one mission, and that's to not die. That's its primary goal, don't die. And so we know that if we stop eating food, we will stop getting calories. We'll stop getting energy. And what we talked about earlier, you need calories just to stay alive, your heart to beat, your brain to think, your lungs to breathe. So if you stop eating food, you won't have energy, you will die. And so it's important to note that your body's primary focus is more than anything, is trying to survive. And so if we are in a position where we feel like we have extra weight to lose, okay, that means at some point we ate more calories than what we were burning. And that can happen from one of two ways, okay? If we have a baseline here where all the calories in match the calories out, that is called weight maintenance because they're equal. You're not going to gain or lose. After maintenance, if you start doing less activity, let's say you used to work on your hands and feet and you would walk all day, you were a construction worker, and now all of a sudden you do a desk job. If your calories in stay the same and now your activity has gone down, you are in a caloric surplus. You're eating more calories than you're burning. Another example of this is if your activity stays the same. Nothing changes. Your day-to-day doesn't change. Your exercise doesn't change. And all of a sudden you start eating more calories. This is also a calorie surplus. In both scenarios, we have more calories in than we have out. And when this happens, it causes us to gain weight. So if you feel like you have weight to lose, it is because at some point you were in a caloric surplus, right? There's just no two ways around it. It's just how it works, okay? With that being said, let's talk about the reverse, okay? If you're at caloric maintenance, right, in and out is equal, and you start increasing your activity, let's say you weren't working out and now you start working out, or you were doing a desk job and now your job is you're out in the field. Your activity or your workouts, the calories you're burning go up. If you don't change anything with your caloric intake, you are now in a caloric deficit. We call this a weight loss phase, right? Because now there's less calories in and more calories out, you're going to start to lose weight. Another example of this is if your activity and your workouts do not change. and all of a sudden you start eating less, you cut your calories, which is the question of the day, you will lose weight. Period. It's science. It's just the way it works. So if you're gaining weight, it's because you're in a caloric surplus. If you're maintaining weight, it is because you are equal calories in versus calories out. And if you are losing weight, it's because you're in a caloric deficit. So to answer our question, I know that was a lot, but to answer our question, does tracking calories work for weight loss? That was the question we were trying to answer. And if you're tracking your calories and you put yourself in a caloric deficit, yes, you will lose weight. But there's more. You guys already know I'm your boy Roy. We got to dig into this because here's the next question. Is it the best approach to reach your goals and this be sustainable long term? So, I'm going to tell you a little story, okay? When I was in high school, I was a small kid. I was maybe 130 pounds soaking wet. I was the small kid. I used to get picked on for being the small kid. And when I got to college, I decided I didn't want to be the small kid anymore. I was going to put on some weight. I'm going to put on some muscle. And so I started training and doing that. And I ate at a caloric surplus. Okay, I ate more calories than what I was burning every day. And I went from 130 pounds to 160 pounds. And I can tell you that this was not fat that I was gaining, which is interesting because what we said was that if you eat at a caloric surplus, you will gain weight. But we didn't say what kind of weight. There's actually 4 different types of weight we can gain or lose. This is water weight, food weight, muscle weight, or fat weight. It has to come from one of those 4 things, okay? And so when I was going through this surplus, because I was fueling myself the right way, I was primarily gaining muscle through that process. Now we take that on the flip side. If you are in a caloric deficit, just like when I was a surplus, it doesn't mean I'm going to gain muscle or I'm going to gain fat or I'm going to gain food or I'm going to gain water, right? When you go into a caloric deficit, it doesn't guarantee you're going to lose the right kind of weight. Let me give you an example. Let's say all you did, you didn't change your activity, you didn't change your workouts, all you were worried about was calories, and you put yourself at a caloric deficit. But the only thing you ate was cake. You had cake for breakfast, you had cake for lunch, and you had cake for dinner. Sounds real nice, and I promise you it probably would be nice for the first day. But after a week, after 2 weeks, after a month of eating nothing but cake, okay, the question is would you lose weight? Well, if we consistently stayed in a caloric deficit and only ate cake, technically, you will lose weight. There's just no 2 ways about it. But here's my question for you. If you only ate cake, do you think you would feel your best? Probably not. Do you think you would look your best? Probably not. Do you think eating cake and nothing but cake would be congruent with your goals? Probably not. And the question is why? Because if you only ate cake, I think we can conclude that we wouldn't lose the right kind of weight. And the fact is that eating just cake, and I'll tell you this right now, is you will probably lose some fat, but you will also lose muscle weight. Your body can literally take your muscle and break it down for energy if you don't fuel yourself properly. And when that happens, it actually slows down your metabolism. And when you slow down your metabolism, a cascade of negative events start happening. Like one, your body starts storing fat easier. It makes it harder to get rid of fat, which definitely isn't what we want. But also, we run the risk of malnutrition and not fueling ourselves the right way. So then our hormones start getting wonky. They're not working optimally. And I know that if your hormones aren't working the right way, you're definitely not losing the right kind of weight and you're not feeling your best. You probably don't have that much energy. You probably aren't that motivated and you're probably going to fall off of your diet of nothing but cake and eventually end up eating more and backsliding and all this crazy stuff. And then you end up gaining the weight back. So the point to this is that can we lose weight just tracking calories? Yes, but that is only one piece to a much bigger puzzle, and I feel like a lot of us miss that. We miss the fact that there's a lot more to it. We have to fuel ourselves the right way so we can lose the right kind of weight. So there's a lot more than just calories in versus calories out. So I just want to be crystal clear on what we just learned today, because this is like groundbreaking for some of us. You see, calories control if we gain, maintain, or lose weight. But the type of calories or the type of food we're eating controls what type of weight we gain, maintain, or lose. You guys, don't miss this. Like, again, tracking calories is just such a small piece to a much bigger puzzle. So I guess the point of this talk is, if I could leave you with anything, it's that cutting calories and going to this extreme deficit is not the answer when it comes to weight loss. It's not sustainable, it's not healthy, and it creates a terrible relationship with food. On the flip side, the way we want to approach this is by fueling ourselves the right way. So not only do we lose the right kind of weight, but it's sustainable long term. You guys, I really, really, really hope this makes sense, because again, I just have so many people that we work with here at RUF, and it breaks my heart when I have people and it's just like, they feel like there's no other way and they feel trapped and they've got to eat less and less and less. I'm here to tell you that there's a better way. I promise you there is. You just have to trust the process, okay? I really, really, really appreciate you. I'm glad you're here. Again, I only have one ask from you, and that is, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. It would mean the world to me. And leave a comment or a thumbs up. That would be a bonus. That'd be great as well. But I do appreciate you guys, and as we always say, we don't pray for an easy life, we earn a rough one. Y'all keep earning those cookies. Later, friends.